Good evening, everybody. I welcome all of you to yet another episode of the Rainmakers podcast. I warmly welcome everybody who is joining in from LinkedIn and Facebook. We are going live, and whoever is joining in, please be kind enough to join us by commenting, by providing your feedback, and if there is any questions that you can ask, please be kind enough to send it across to us so we to display them on the screen, and also maybe hopefully the presenter today will be able to answer them to you. We believe words are so powerful, they can crush a heart or heal it. They can shame a soul or liberate. They can shatter dreams or energize them. They can obstruct connection or invite it. They can create defenses or melt them. We have to use words wisely. This is a podcast where we try to use words wisely and use them to inspire who are joining in and then who are watching the latter part of the recording also. We invite people who have made an impact, people who have created an impact in the world, and through and vision have made a difference in the lives of not only them but also others. In the same way, today is we are inviting somebody who has who has done exceptionally well in negotiation techniques. He has over 30 years of experience in negotiating in 30 different countries all over the world. A master trainer and practitioner. A person who has trained so many people within Sri Lanka and also outside, with ample of experience to talk about negotiation skills and how to use negotiation within in order for us to make our lives better, and to make it better as we go on. Please, we warmly welcome Tissa Dissanayaka to the stream. Tissa, welcome.
Thank you, Yoga. It's my pleasure to be with you this hour to this episode,
Thank you
another
very much.
episode of.
Thank you, Tissa. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. And now to invite the host. She is Sri Lanka's only certified success trainer from from Jack Canfield, a lawyer and also a lecturer. Please welcome Donna Balasuriya to be the co-host of the stream too. Thank you much, Donna, for being here. Great, fabulous. Tissa, I think we will have to begin with the simplest possible question we can ask a negotiation guru, a negotiation expert. The first question could be, in the eyes of a master negotiator, what is negotiation? Why negotiation is important?
Well, Yoga, there are different interpretations available if one looks around, but I prefer to make it very simple where everybody can understand. In my mind, the negotiation is act of influence to reach an agreement. One line, one sentence, easy to understand. Let me repeat, it's an act of influence to reach an agreement. Yoga, your sound, I can't hear you.
It's an influence to actor agreement. I understand, but in your perspective, a person who goes out and trains others, how would you define? How would you say why is negotiation important?
Now, from the day we are born to this world until the day we are gone from this world, we are compelled to negotiate. Now, when the word negotiation comes, what comes to our mind in common parlance, common language is that we associate negotiation with negotiation between Russia and America, between Trump and Xi Jinping, negotiation between Palestinian and Israelis, negotiation between countries, organizations, corporations. This word negotiation is generally associated with high flown, high level corporate or country to country power negotiations. If you look at One's life around. Negotiation is 360 degree. Negotiate more in our personal life than in our professional life in general. You negotiate with your spouse, your partner, your kids, your parents, siblings, friends. The negotiations in family, personal life is much more than your professional life. But yet, we associate word negotiation with high flown, high level, high power negotiation. That's the where we lose the focus. In one point, negotiations are inevitable. It you have to. This is my point too. My point to general public is if the negotiations are inevitable, why not learn how to do it better? The question comes. Often, students of my MBA classes they used to ask, "Why is this important?" I mean, we did not focus the word onto the word negotiation for so many times. I mean, so many years in our life. Why is it now important? That's the question some people ask. They say, "Sir, Mr. Dissanayaka, we did not know this word, and we were not focusing on that. Why now?" This is where I wish to bring in one of the famous quote by Dr. Chester Karas. He's one of the negotiation guru. He says, as in business, as in life, you don't get what you deserve, you get what you negotiate. Yoga, this is true in my life. Perhaps it's true in your life and the life of all the listeners and the viewers. We don't get what you deserve unless we negotiate to get it. This is why in my tagline I say, you got to negotiate to get what you want.
Very true.
In common language, we say, if you don't ask, you don't get anything. The word ask
That's
is
correct. That's correct.
one way connected to the negotiation. It's a imperative, it's a must. You have no choice unless you choose to remain as average negotiator for rest of your life, or you take that first step to improve your skills and become an extraordinary or great one. Choice is up to the people.
That's correct. That's correct. I think that's a very prolific answer. It added value. One of the reasons why we wanted to do this session as our second session, as our second episode, was that the times have changed where a lot of people are renegotiating their contracts, they are going to interview, the business deals are affected, so on and so forth. Thought was we will try to address the issues of how to negotiate at work, to negotiate in businesses, and also, more importantly, we will also connect them to why we should negotiate at home and also how to do that. So I'm sure we are, with understanding the importance of negotiation, we will be able to now go on and discuss the greater details in those three categories, and hopefully we will be able to answer a few questions by the end of the session. Thank you very much, Lisa, for that answer. I think
Right.
it's time for Donna to chip in with her question.
Absolutely. Thank you very much, Tissa, for the great insights. And I really liked how you said you don't get what you deserve, you get what you negotiate. So I'm definitely someone who is interested in knowing how to win the things that I really want in my life. So how do I everyone, when it comes to negotiations, they speak about how to win in a negotiation and how to come into a win-win situation. So my question to you is, how would you describe in your words what is a win-win negotiation?
Donna, it's a good question to start with this 1 hour journey. Good old days, gone are the days. We had a perception that negotiation is a test of will, the power of muscles. In other words, we consider, oh, in that case, many people consider it as a fist fight. They thought the size of the cake is fixed. It's 1 kilo. In negotiation, it's you up to you to get the bigger part for yourself. That was the traditional standard method that under the impression many years ago. We call it a distributive method. The value is fixed, and my task is to fight and get it back. In this process, we used to term it as saying if we are able to cut the cake in half, 1 kilo cake, we cut it half, 500 grams for you, 500 grams for you, the other person. Wow, this is win-win. This is what I thought the decades ago. I was wrong. And there's a better, improved, high-level method. This is what we call integrative approach. In that approach, creating more value is the focus. Now, for instance, instead of fighting to divide the 1 kilo cake, you and I, as negotiating counterpart, should try to see how best we could expand the value of the cake. Now, in American parlance, we call it a pie. Is it a fixed pie or expanding pie? Now, under the fixed pie method, win-win is dona when we cut it half. And you're happy getting 500 grams. I'm also happy getting 500 grams. We call it, wow, amazing, I did it. Woohoo! Win and win. Now, when I look back in my career, now I can't help thinking how much of value I have left on the table. It could be millions or billions that I left on the table trying to trying to go along with the traditional method, assuming that's a fixed pie. The integrative method is I am willing to work with you. It's a collaborative approach. And we jointly try to see whether we could improve it, whether we could improve the size of pie. Let's say if we can improve it to 25 kilos, even if we cut it half, you get 12 and a half kilos, I get 12 and a half kilos. It's the high level of value enrichment. Now that would be the better. Now that is also, you could say, Tissa, now 500 gram, it's win-win situation. Now 12.5 kilos, 12.5 kilos, that's also win-win situation under the expanding. Well, the involvement of negotiation doesn't stop there. There's an even better method. Let me take an example. There's a method called win, and win method. Let us understand where we have this recent uproar or controversial point of someone is trying to uh, establish either house or fixed structure close to the Singaraja. That plot of land. Maybe some authorities, local authorities, would have approved it according to their, it's on the purview. The owners of the land want to put up a structure. That's fine. They want to have a structure, and local authorities want to have the structure. Or else, if we take another example, if somebody wants to put up a powerhouse based on the water source, they will generate electricity. It will connect to the national grid. People will be benefited by, the organization will be benefited by the profitability of in generating power. That's also win for the public and win for the company who set up that powerhouse or that structure. How about environment? You cannot, in a negotiation, you cannot reach an agreement and say, if there's a profit for you, great. I also have the profit for me, but environment suffers. Society suffers. Ethics, values suffers. The latest trend or the higher level of negotiation is there's a profit for negotiating counterparts, there's equal benefit for me. That should not be at the expense of the holistic view, collective us. It has to be good for you, good for me, and it has to be good for collective us. That means the entire society or environment or the world at large. Can the now question is, Donna, whether we can reach and win-win, or should we try to become a win-win and win negotiators?
Absolutely amazing things. I think that is something new that I learned, and I've never thought of the world collectively as a whole when it comes to entering into agreements or contracts. So that's an amazing thing to also focus on, not just the two parties who are negotiating, but definitely to take a bigger view, the holistic view, and see whether it is a win-win-win situation. And I will never forget it. Back to you, Yoga.
Tissa, thank you very much. That was truly eye-opening. I have never heard of a win-win-win negotiation, and it was very interesting. So thank you very much for enlightening us on it. Now that we have spoken about the importance of negotiation in your own view, and also how not only win-win but then also win-win and win. This is now a lot of us who is watching, who will watch, are asking, I think, one simple question. I understand the importance of negotiation. I understand now that I have to win for me, I have to offer a win for the other party and also consider the win for everybody, all the stakeholders that are involved. But offer us some techniques. What are some techniques that you can teach us or share with us today that we can go and implement it and become better at it? How would you address it this?
Uh, Yoga, now the challenge is to define what the technique is. This is where, in my opinion, I had a confused mind for a long period of time on this particular subject. And there were a lot of amazing work done by the scholars, professors of different universities. And there were brilliant negotiation presenters, trainers were there. But when I tried to follow many of those, I had the difficulty of putting them into the slots. How to put this each? Then I realized the strategy, techniques, tools, and then tips, skills, all those are mixed together in delivering those. This is where I wish to. I decided to develop my own model. It's a proprietary model called Boston Negotiation Group Model. It was the outcome of my confusion. You see, necessity is the mother of invention. I had this confusion. I wanted something simple to follow because I had the difficulty of following this subject in certain points. Then when I decided how to share my knowledge, experience with the others, I thought of best way to develop that. Now, when you say give me some techniques, let me take it to different stratas, different levels. I believe you asked me how can a person or viewer or person who is listening to this can become a great negotiator, or if he's an average negotiator, we all are negotiators. We, Yoga, in my opinion, we all are great negotiators by birth and by nature.
I'm
If you
interested
have,
now.
yeah,
How is
if
that
you
this?
are have, yeah, if you have any doubt, ask your mom, dad, your elders in the family. They will tell you where the your ability to get everything what you wanted, not in a purse or single cent in your purse. Well, you never had a purse, you never had a pocket. in small days, your small outfit did not have pockets. It's just a simple short. You managed to get everything. You are such a good negotiator. What happened? What happened to yoga? Because all these social pressure, education, elders influence, societal norms, uh, fixtures, framework, do this, don't do that, culture norms, all those contributed to suppress and diminish or minimize your ability. You qualified, you modified it as you go on, and it's gradually disappeared. Now, it is my conviction that I can help someone to rediscover that negotiator. Yoga, I can help you to rediscover. Well, I don't have to give anything. You already have it. You have it within your structure.
Right.
My task is to help
Right.
you to become, rediscover that master negotiator in you. Now, in that sense, I believe everyone is average. I mean, is a negotiator. Everyone is a negotiator. The question is, will you remain as a negotiator for rest of your life, or are you taking that important steps to improve yourself and become a great one? Now, remember, all great negotiators were once beginners. Now, in that sense, answering your question, I wish to simplify it to this question. I mean, I wish to reframe it to this way: how can one become a great negotiator from the average negotiator? How can you move from average to greatness? My first suggestion is yoga: preparation, preparation, preparation. If you ask me how important preparation is, in my opinion, I don't usually throw numbers. At least 70% of your negotiation success based on that. In simple terms, significant portion of your percentage of your negotiation success attributed to the preparation. Now imagine we didn't talk about the skills, no tactics, no tips, no techniques, no strategies were discussed, but just simply being prepared as a negotiator. You attribute more than 50%, a significant percentage of your negotiation outcome, successful outcome, to the preparation. So let me focus your attention. If you want to become, or if my audience wish to become a great negotiator, prepare yourself thoroughly. That's number one.
Tissa, on that,
Number two, yeah,
I just want to
go
add
ahead.
something to that, and just to clarify. So
Yeah.
you were repeatedly saying that all of us are good negotiators, and then some are great. All of us are average negotiators, some are great. Or we were born great, but then because of the societal norms, most of us have become average. Tissa, I think we are going to address this, but then how we speak, our body language, the words we use, the confidence with which we speak, all this also adds to 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 how good we are as a negotiator. What do you think? Is that true? Before we move on to the
No,
next point.
great question. And you hit the nail on the head. Body language, I call it non-verbal. In my proprietary model, I assigned the name called non-verbal communication is key skill for a to become a great negotiator. Let me put that in a perspective. With my experiences negotiating with professional and institutes over 30 countries, in person, hands on, and also sharing my experience and knowledge with thousands of MBA students who are senior corporate managers. I have refined skill set for a negotiator. Now, focus on this skill set for a negotiator. key for skills. It doesn't mean that other skills are unimportant. They are important. If you ask me how many skills are important, maybe a couple of dozen, maybe even 100 different skills are required to become a great negotiator. I have no question about that. But with my experiences on field and in class, I have refined and prioritized to four. Let me articulate those four: listening skills, empathetic skills, empathy, assertiveness, non-verbal. I call it lean skills. Coincidentally, lean means continuous improvement. Take in the literal meaning, it's not literal, it's an acronym. But even if you take the literal meaning, that means you have to keep on improving these skills rest of your life. I termed it as a lean skill. N is associated with the non-verbal. You took this discussion to that point. You focused discussion on that. Non-verbal, as we all know, is responsible for over 50% of our communication success. There's a cliche, and they say 7% is attributed to in communication success. 7% is all about words, power of words. 38% are tonality, and 55% are non-verbal body language. One can disagree with the percentage, but we all agree without any dispute. Non-verbal represents the major part of the communication process. Now, why, if you miss to address or focus on non-verbal, you miss major part of the communication process. How can that affect a negotiation? The question you may ask: what if you are not good at non-verbal or body language? How that will affect
Yeah.
as a negotiation success? Let me share with you this. Let me take you to this particular point. As we discussed, negotiation is about working with the other person. This is integrative negotiation, working with the other person. Unlike good old days, fighting with the other person. Now, collaborating, cooperating, and create more value. To do that, I have to understand the other person. How we create more value, how we create more collaboration is
Correct.
by
I
understanding
agree.
the other person.
I agree.
Because you understand what you want, what you need, your need, wants, and then interest, drives. Then, if you want to expand the pie, you need the other person also to support you. To do that, you need to understand what are the drives other person has, the interest, needs, wants, pains, all those. To understand that, you need to communicate. Not only you need to communicate from you to the other person, from this side to the other side, you also should try to understand what the other person is trying to communicate. Now remember, he or she will talk to you 7 words, but over 50% of the meaning is behind the body language or non-verbal. Just trying to focus on the 7% or that 7 words that the person spoke doesn't help for you to understand the other person unless you are good in body language. Even with the, let me say that body language, tonality, vocal variation, and all those packaged together, because that will help to understand the other person. Once you understand the other person, it is easy for you to expand the pie, which is beneficial for them and for you as well. So I fully agree, and it is one of the key skills that any aspiring negotiator should improve, start mastering. And as a human, this understanding body language is genetical. It's a part of the evolution process of the human being. I can keep talking about this with how psychology affects the, how the
Excellent,
brain.
Tissa. I think it's crystal clear. It's crystal clear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, I,
It's clear as to why it is important.
yeah. And
Amazing.
I fully agree. I fully agree.
Yeah.
Let's
So
move.
Tissa, to go back, I think we were speaking of the techniques.
Yeah.
We spoke about how preparation is very. You explained that in detail. Now you have
Yeah.
explained how body language and non-verbal communication is very important.
Yeah.
What else
Yeah.
are some techniques that we can share with our audience that could help them become better from the average negotiator? How can they better? How can they become better? What are the some specific techniques or tactics that you would share?
uh, uh, Yoga been in now for it. Let me put this in the perspective and then framework and then answer it. You get yourself prepared very well. That's the primary focus. That's called the preparing your base. You have to have the solid foundation to build your case up, and then in the meantime you have the responsibility of improving your skills that are required to become a great negotiator, like listening skills, empathetic, assertiveness, non-verbal. It's there. Then the question is, when you meet your negotiating counterparts across the table, across the table, what tactics or techniques that you apply when you meet first time face to face? Now, this is where a lot of people mix it around, fumble with that, and create a lot of confusion. Since you asked, let me go directly into one important area. You, as a great negotiator, you got to stay in control of negotiation process. Keep your control with the negotiation process. That means you have to have the initiative of the process. Get the control onto your hand and do not let that go to your negotiation counterparts. Now, how do we do that? When you meet someone for serious negotiation, you stay in control of your negotiation process. Let me share with you two simple techniques that will help you to stay in control. Asking questions and clarifications. Asking questions and clarifications will give you initiative and will help you to stay in control of the process. Ask, why is happening like that? Why is not this way? I didn't understand. What was the point that you were trying to highlight? Can you explain it again? By asking questions and clarifications, you keep control of the process, because in negotiation, how you negotiate is equally important as what you negotiate. Even some negotiation guru say how you negotiate is more important than what you negotiate. So this keeping the process in your hand is important. So that is one tactics, important tactics, that I wish to recommend for any person who wish to be now ask questions. The challenge is, people don't want to ask questions. They don't want to ask clarification. Why? Yoga, in a serious negotiation, this is my understanding. We understand, integrate
Yeah,
complex things. We understand complex matters. Often we have big question marks on basics, absolute basics, fundamentals. But we have a problem of asking questions on fundamentals.
correct.
Why? Because when we ask question on fundamentals and the basic, we
Unfortunately, yes.
feel that other person will think that, ha, doesn't he know about this simple thing? Look at his understanding level. He's not an expert. We are fear of that retribution. We don't want to show that we didn't understand that fundamentals or basic subject matters. The best thing that we could do to show that we are smart is to stop asking questions. Now, let me say this very, very openly. When we fear of asking questions on the basic because we believe the other person will think that I'm stupid. If you ask the question, the person who asks the question will remain stupid for 5 minutes until he or she clarifies that. Person who doesn't ask the question will remain stupid for rest of the life. As a negotiator, you got to decide whether you want to be here or there. So my
Very true.
focus, my
Very, very
request
true.
is
Very, very, very true.
please ask questions, clarification, stay control of the discussions. That will give you an advantage. That's one point. The second one, yoga, what I suggest is this is one of the key elements that we often miss.
Perfect. Perfect.
People wish to negotiate or do business with people whom they could trust. Now we are coming to a very important point. People wish to negotiate or do business with people whom they could trust. This is why financial institution ask for collaterals. Can you hand over the book of the vehicle or the deed of the property? Because that trust element is not there because it's a long-term contract. They have to ensure that they are sufficiently covered. Now,
Yeah.
the challenge is as a negotiator, how do you establish trust? Yoga, it's a long procedure, but let me simplify within a minute. There are
Yeah.
two different things, personal trust and the professional trust. How do you establish personal trust? By being likable. How do you establish professional trust? Is being respectable. How do you being respectable? You have to be professional in that way, and you have to be capable. How do you become capable? You have to be skillful, and you have to be knowledge, and you have to be your attitude has to be that. And how do you likable is in create the personal trust? You have to be connectable. How do you connect with the values? And all those are there. But come on, this is bit deeper subject. If someone asks, give us something simple. As a negotiator, I can apply tomorrow morning when we go office, at home. How can I apply this now? Now, how can I
Correct.
establish
Correct.
trust now? Otherwise, it's useless.
Yeah.
I have a couple of points. Number one, as a negotiator, don't forget to smile. These are
I
simple,
think even
low
we are.
hanging fruit. We often forget to smile in a very tense negotiation situation. Smile, create trust.
Correct. Correct.
Imagine if
Correct.
some other person comes with the square face, and tense. There's a lack of trust in that. Smile. Make
Correct.
proper eye
Very
contact.
true.
If the person doesn't make proper eye contact, there's a tendency that you don't trust the other person. We all know that. It's a
That's
human
right.
psychology. And next one
Correct.
is create some, give some, share some simple information. Simple
Correct.
information. Share.
Hmm.
Because it's called the power of reciprocity. And then use the friendly body language like open palm gestures. Don't do this. Like, it's under the body language. This is threatening. While you're talking and you keep on doing that, it doesn't help your negotiation process. Use open
Not at
palm.
all.
Just smile, tap on the shoulders, use all those friendly gestures that will establish trust from your side. I call it a work in trust when you meet first time as a negotiator. I request audience, my viewers, to try it tomorrow at home, even at office, and see the difference of response from the other, your negotiating counterpart, be it with your colleague, with your boss, or subordinate, or teammate.
Right. Fabulous. I think this is fabulous. So much valuable information within such a short time. And as we move on to the last 20 minutes of the discussion, I'm sure
Right.
we will have to go
Yeah.
in a little faster. And also, I
Right.
invite everybody to send in your questions so that we will be able to share it with this and this might be able to answer it to them. Let's move on to empathy in negotiating. Donna?
Right.
Yeah. I mean, amazing insights. This I personally I'm continuously uh, taking notes while listening to you, and I'm learning a lot. So I know that you were like throughout the previous answer, you were like emphasizing on the lean concept, that is listening, empathizing, assertiveness, nonverbal. So the second point, that is empathy, I think you were emphasizing so much on it. So I just want to know, what is the importance of empathizing the other counterpart of in the negotiating process?
Donna, we stop by saying that negotiation is about collaborating with the other person, trying to create more value for both of us. Trying to create more value, we need to understand the other person. Now, Daniel Goleman, who wrote a seminal book of why is more important than IQ, who popularized the emotional, he says, empty your ability to understand the emotional make of the other. Some people say it's the seeing with the eyes of another, hearing with the ears of another, and the feeling with heart of another. That's empathy. There are different level of empathy. As a negotiator, my understanding is you need to have the fundamental basic level of empathy. It's called the perspective taking. It's called the perspective taking. That means you don't have to be you don't have to go deep into the other's feelings or take responsibility for that. When you're negotiating with someone, you don't have to take responsibility for his, the feelings. You just have to understand what the other person's feelings are. That will help you to now don't mix that with sympathy. Sympathy is feeling for. Empathy is feeling with. Sympathy feeling for, empathy feeling with. It doesn't mean you have to agree with the other person or even disagree with the other person's feelings. It's not about being nice every time. That's also just to understand what is the. Now imagine in your phone you have an app called empathy app. You switch on and put the other person name. I have the empathy app. I put Donna Balasurya, and I can see what exactly going inside your mind. How cool that could be. That app is called empathy. That app is called the empathy. Your ability to understand. When you understand, if you understand the other person, you will understand why that person is asking for 30% reduction. If you have the empathy, you will truly understand why that person is demanding, like I mean, like nothing. Why 7 days delivery? If that person is understanding why the credit terms are demanding for 60 days, if you just go behind. So all these factors will help you to come out with the solution that's good for them and great for you. The great negotiators, the final outcome is it should be good for them, the other person, and great for you. Empathy will help you to get there, and it's a very important skill.
Fabulous.
Anything?
I really liked your explanation, Tissa. Donna, I'm sure you liked the answer too, right? I think that was
Of
beautiful.
course.
That was beautifully said.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely. I
and
think
and
you very
and
well
Tissa
explained.
now.
I think you very well explained the difference between sympathy and empathy, and feeling for and feeling with. And I'm sure there are so many questions which our audience is definitely having, and we also do have quite a lot of questions, Yoga. I think we'll have to move in fast with the questions.
Sure. So, next question, beginning with empathy, is that most of us at times, let's say, for example, in this period, people are losing their jobs. There are salary cuts. There are, uh, reduced work hours. There are benefits that are cut. There are advances that
Yeah.
are cut. There are loans that have to be repaid immediately. At times, we go into the negotiating table with a lot of fear. How could
Hmm.
that impact the negotiation, Tissa, and how to get over it, how to avoid it, how to improve on it? What would you say?
Yoga, let's be honest. It doesn't matter how experienced you are, how skillful you are. The fear factor remains. It's like a public speaking. It doesn't matter how many speech. I mean, how many public speech that you have delivered. Is it even it after 1,000, you still have that fear. The negotiation is also like that. You fear. I have that fear element. But now the beauty is I love to play with that fear. That fear is for my advantage. Uh, I use it for my drive. So fear element. If somebody feels that in a negotiation, if you say that I am a little bit fearful, that's fine. Everybody has it. You are normal, and the challenge is you to learn how to live with it or how to move forward with it. Now, how to reduce the fear? You will not be able to eliminate it, but how to reduce the fear is one factor. First factor that I said, preparation. Fear comes when you have a lot of unknowns. Fear is associated with unknown outcome. If you have the backup plan, we call it best alternative to a negotiated agreement. It's called the BATNA. If you know your for plan B, plan C, plan D, it doesn't work. What is my next best option? Alternative. And if this doesn't happen, where can I go resort to? What's my fallback plan? When you don't have that, if your life depend on this negotiation, yes, it's going to be a very fearful situation. My
Correct.
advice is be prepared. Prepare and prepare. More you prepare, more control you will have on your fear. You will not be able to eliminate. I have not, but you will get hold of that, hang of that fear. You will learn how to dance with the fear. That's my advice.
Fabulous. I think that's a very interesting way of looking at it, Tissa. Thank you very much for that. Tissa, also now because we are getting in a lot of questions from the audience members also, what we
Right.
will do it
Yeah.
is we will do it on a quick fire because we are reaching the last 10 minutes.
Right.
So we
Right.
will take 1 minute each for every question that we are
Right.
going to have.
Right.
Yeah, so from now on, we will have it as a quick fire question so that we answer as many questions as possible. Donna?
Right.
I think one of the fears that we bring into the table of negotiation is that the fear of rejection. For instance, if we are going to have a client meetup
Yoga,
that
you could
you
ask the questions if your eye is not visible.
Uh, um, Please continue, Donna.
yeah, you can hear me.
Yeah,
I can't
perfect.
see her. Yeah. You could answer. Send me the questions. Ask the questions, so I will answer.
Tissa, can you see me?
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. Continue. Continue. I can see everybody.
Okay. So my question to Tissa is that as we were speaking
I can't
about
see
fear.
the Donna in the stream.
Tissa,
I
can
can
you
see
can you
the.
hear the question?
No, I can't hear the question. I can neither see Donna. I can read some of the questions in the chat box. Uh, if you don't mind, I can read those
Um,
and answer those.
okay, so what we will do, actually, I
Yeah,
think one second, Tissa, one second. Yeah, let's answer the question of Taruka, please. Taruka.
yeah. Aruka Sigera says, in a B2B negotiation, how can I convince my counterpart to
So
buy
Taruka
product
Sigera is
at a
asking
fixed price?
about B2B.
Yeah, if it is in case of new product. Now, Yoga, this question is about the fixed price, whether it's a new product, old product.
Yeah.
It is all about the new price. Sorry, fixed price. Now, Taruka, remember,
Hmm.
price is what we pay, value is what we get.
Right.
Price is what we pay, and value is what we get. Now, price
Right.
could be fixed. Whether you are a buyer or seller, price could be fixed, but value could be vary or it could be flexible. So if the price is fixed and if you want to, the question is, I don't want at this fixed price, I want it at lower price, or I want to sell it at price, the buyer is not willing to buy it at fixed price. Imagine if you are the buyer, sorry, seller, and you have the fixed price, buyer is disputing that. Can you attribute more value by way of servicing, support activities, guarantee, warranty, logistic,
Perfect.
supply,
Perfect.
brand image? To add more value, your price will be fixed, but your overall value will be variable, vary. That's my the one way to address that.
Fabulous. I think that was a very quick answer, but it also was important. I think it added element to the discussion where whoever it is, if we add value and offer that value as the negotiation point, then we can move forward with the negotiations.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
to have a quick check, can we all see Donna?
No,
Can you see me?
no, I can't see her yet.
Okay.
Okay, I think we have her in the stream. It's okay, right. Donna, can you speak? Can you say something? We will see whether
Yeah,
we can see you.
of course. Tissa, can you hear me?
Best way to move out and come back.
Yeah, maybe I will just quickly ask the question. Yoga, you can repeat it. My question to Tissa is that we were speaking about the fear we bring into the
Right. So I
negotiation.
think it seems like Tissa cannot see Donna. So I'll quickly. Sure.
So my question is that
Right.
how do we deal with how do we reject rejection?
How
How do
about shall
we
we
reject
also,
rejection?
from fear, Tissa, shall we discuss
Hmm.
about when there is bullying, disrespect, or dishonor? When somebody disrespects you, dishonors you, or bullies you during a negotiation, what are your options?
Yoga,
How to deal with it?
Yoga, this is a very frequent challenge situation people face. It's very rarely we meet a person in the equal in status,
Sure.
and we always we find someone either below or above,
Tissa?
and not in par. So, can you hear me? I I believe my voice is continuing. Yoga, confirm please.
Correct.
Okay. Now, my suggestion is
Perfect. Perfect.
we o-
Continue.
we yeah, we often meet people with more power. Either they have the positional power, money power, bargaining power, social power, or even political power, and they are big. Let me put it: they are big, and we feel we are small. At that point, how do we negotiate? The question is, especially bullying, are applying pressure and coming onto your shoulder. and they are trying to squeeze you, they are trying to pressure you to create that fear element and pushing you to the agree to the things that you wouldn't otherwise would not agree. That is their deliberate techniques, either by nature or
Right.
by learning that they are doing it. Now how do you handle that such a powerful negotiator if somebody is right sit across the table? Two things I suggest: if the person is coming onto your shoulder as a negotiator, take it or leave it, my way or highway. Either you do it my way of business, otherwise get out. I mean, these are things very frequent. Dozens of people have said that
Yeah.
similar way in my career, and probably your career also. Not in the same wordings, but they give you that feeling. Number one, if you meet
Correct.
we call them negotiating bullies, yoga. The if first step that I suggest is don't react.
Yeah.
The moment you opt to not to react,
Hmm.
you immediately put like, you take the steam away, you take the pressure away, because bully expect you to react. The moment you opt to not
Yeah.
to react, that pressure is gone. Second one is the most important one:
Correct.
go to the balcony. What is balcony? The balcony is metaphor, is in the higher state of mind. Balcony is a place of emotional calmness. Balcony is you are when you go to balcony yoga and you can see what is happening below, you are out of that disturbance and stone throwing and sounds. You can see this is happening below you, but you are on top. This is mental level, metaphorical level that we identify with our higher self. You could see somebody is blackguarding you, applying pressure on you, but you don't associate with yourself there. It's the executive of that, oh, senior manager Yogendra Prasad Satyaseelan is being pressurized by somebody
Okay.
else in the industry. And oh, that's fine. That's normal, right? This is how this gentleman always behave. He's applying pressure on that senior executive of this corporation, finance director of this corporation. It's not me. It's easy to say, difficult to do, but you have to detach yourself and go to the balcony level. That will give you a perspective to say right thing, not to agree on wrong things, and navigate the discussions and the process in the right direction, not capitulating to pressure and saying yes where you should not say yes, saying no where you should not say no. So it gives that emotional space for you to handle this. Number one, don't react. Number two, go to balcony. Yoga, any more questions? Yoga, can you hear me?
Correct.
Because I can see some questions on the chat box.
Strength yoga.
Fabulous. Fabulous. I think that was a very important point, this, sir, because most of the time this happens, and when it happens to us, because it's
Tissa, are you able to hear me?
Yoga, I can't hear you.
All right, so let me ask this question and then type it in the chat box.
Is wrong with your line? No.
So my question to you is this: how important
No.
it is to preserve the
I have a
self-respect of.
question. Let me address to the audience. Donna put to me from the chat box. Friends, the question is how important is to preserve the self-respect of the other person. It's very important because in your life and my life, we negotiate repeatedly with the same people, whether it's your parents at home, family members, friends, or office colleagues, or even your key customers, main customers. We repeatedly do business or negotiate with. When it's when you negotiate with the same customers over and over a longer period of time, preserving self-respect is a key important area. Because when they lose the real self-respect, that means in negotiation, real self-respect start with the value distribution. You always go as a killer negotiation. Bigger part is for me, more proportion, higher percentage for me, very small percentage for you, or none for you. There's no better disrespect than that. You know what happens? People will move away from you, and after a while, you will realize that there is hardly anyone is willing to negotiate with you. That's scary. Establish your self-respect. The first thing is to communicate properly, establish your trust, and go for a long-term view than the short-term gain. That's my advice for Donna's question: how to preserve the self-respect.
Okay, thank you very much, Tissa.
Yoga,
I have
any more questions?
Tissa, I think are we back? There
Yes,
has been some connection issues. Yeah,
yeah,
I think when live happens, live happens. When
yes,
mistakes
yeah.
happen,
This,
mistakes
this
happen.
I think the
That's that's perfectly all right.
problem is yoga.
It's
I think
perfectly all
Tissa
right.
can't see me.
yeah,
Tissa can't see me, so I
Right.
couldn't
I'm
ask.
cool.
I asked the
This
question in the
is
chat box.
part of life connectivity.
That's perfectly all
Tell
right.
me
So,
next.
uh, so Donna has been asking the question. What she has been asking um, is the question on
How to preserve
is
the
the, or is
self-respect.
how to preserve the self-respect of the other after the negotiation. Like we have to deal with the other person even after the negotiation. Like how can we do that?
Yeah, yoga. When you were offline, I answered the first part.
Right.
The during the negotiation, because we repeatedly negotiate with the same people at home, at office, even key customers, main customers, over. It's called the lifetime value of the customer, LTV, lifetime value of the customer. So preserving self-respect is very important, and also it is important to follow up and continue after the negotiation. This was my weakness also. We done the deal for our expectation. We say, "Wow, it's great, hooray!" And then sometimes it drops there. Not properly follow up, not established relationship is not continued because we felt that okay, job is done, the deal is won, it's finished. But it's very important you follow up and you continue with that. Remember, you have to go to the same person next time, sooner rather than later, and how you made him feel will decide how easy or difficult your next negotiation cycle would be. So it's very important giving your negotiating counterpart self-respect before during and after the negotiation.
Fabulous. I think that was a very thorough answer, Tissa. Also, there is yet another question from Muzawir Manzir, who's asking whether, I think what he's asking is whether virtual negotiation is different, any different from a negotiation where we sit in front of a on a table and then negotiate person to person. Is there anything else that we should do, be careful about in a virtual environment?
Uh, Virtual negotiation, I got to be specific in my answer. If he is trying to refer the simple
Yeah,
buying and selling, negotiating on the simple items, low value items or medium value items, that's a different answer. My answer for that is make it simple, make it short, and be direct and clear. Cut the fat and just focus on the bone. There's
right,
no time for too many, back and forth. It has to be simple. Your negotiation process, deal process should be very clear, short, and simple. More
right.
complicated, people will move away. If you are using the technology for bigger negotiation, for instance, having a Zoom meeting with your negotiating teams for establishing a plant, LNG power plant in Sri Lanka. So that's the use of technology to deal with the high ticket, high price negotiation. That's a different level. And it's also imperative these days. People are not allowed or not able to move around cities, countries. So this is the imperative. So learn
Correct.
how to do it. But
Yeah.
fundamental remains the same. But in simple online purchasing and others, make it simple. That's the best way.
Right, and maybe we have to train our staff members on how they will communicate with each other on the online platform. If we train that, then all the
Yeah,
other fundamentals of negotiations remain the same because those are
yeah.
year-old fundamentals that have continued from year on to year on to year. Yeah, fabulous. I
Yoga,
as
one thing
yeah,
is that in yoga online, people expect quick results. So our process should be, tuned to, deliver that. People don't wait any longer. They need quick, and you have to be quick.
yeah, 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 yeah. So the next question that Donna wanted to conclude this stream with was do's and don'ts in a negotiation. So, uh, what are the major basic fundamentals of what to do? A few key points and key points of what not to do. How would you suggest them, Tissa?
Yoga, allow me to start with don'ts.
Yeah. Okay.
Don't talk too much.
Oh.
Talk less. Listen more. Talk what you already know. It's only at the moment of listening you learn new things. So negotiation is about collaborating with the other parties to expand the pie. To expand the pie is to understand the other person. To understand the other person is to talk less. It doesn't mean you have to have the airtight lips. Talk less and listen more. That's number one suggestion. Next,
Perfect.
way to avoid threatening, manipulation, pressure tricks. Even threatening, I mean, don't negotiate at gunpoint. Now, this is not the physical gun, this is a metaphorical gun. We do. We do. Now, for instance, if somebody says, no, we don't do it, as a parent, have you ever said to your kids, look here, you have 2 hours to clean this. If you don't do that, nothing will happen.
Yeah.
Do that, those techniques. Avoid threatening, avoid manipulation, avoid tricks, because we feel it's quick shortcut to get the result, but it's short lived. Avoid it. one I suggest to avoid is don't give any freebies. This you will be familiar or sometimes even surprised. Don't give anything free. Something for something, nothing for nothing. Because the moment you give free, if you increase 30 days credit to 40 days free without getting something in return, it becomes the standard. My
Oh,
suggestion,
yes.
maybe some negotiators will disagree, try to trade it off. How to give for get something similar thing in value. Those things
Yeah.
I suggest people to avoid.
I think the last point was absolutely amazing. I don't think I have ever heard it before, because people usually say just to entice people to do business with you, give things free. But then here you are saying never do that. You give something in order and expect something back. If not, if you give something free, next time the negotiation starts from the free point and then
That
moves forward. Fabulous. I think
yeah,
that's
absolutely.
very
Yoga,
interesting. That's a very, very interesting point.
I have this is my experience. I have burned my fingers. I have failed on this. This is real. Mark the things stuff the things that happened in my life. The moment I decided not to give anything free, deals become easier. It become very profitable. People would love to work, and it works completely the other way around. Try it. You will be
Correct.
surprised with your success.
Amazing. I'm sure I'm going to try it, and this is an interesting concept, and many other people are going to try it too. That's fabulous, I guess. Amazing. Donna?
Yeah, absolutely. I really love the answer
I can't see
that
her on the street.
that Tissa gave,
For the picture is not visible.
and definitely
This
like
will give us one second.
what he said finally, like something for something, nothing for nothing. So I think even the audience that we have here, definitely it's something that we should keep in mind, because especially like when we start up something, we always tend to do things for free, just thinking that we will get more business and things will get be profitable. But as opposed to what Tissa says is that things will be more profitable if you start valuing your services and products. So that's amazing. Thank you and kudos to you, Tissa. Yoga, are we going to go for more questions or are we going to wrap up?
No, I think it's time for us to wrap up. We have almost reached 1 minute and 1 hour and 15 minutes. We were supposed to only go for 1 hour, but I think because how interesting the subject was, I think we have gone for 15 more minutes, and the questions were pouring in too. So thank you very much for all of that, Tissa. I would like to give you the final minute to tell us where we can read more, what we can read, whom we should follow, and how we can, on a regular basis, improve our negotiation skills and our abilities. This, sir, your concluding
Uh,
remarks.
to my viewers, those who are watching this, remember, uh, you cannot avoid negotiating in life. It's a must. You have that reality. That is why you should learn how to become a great negotiator, because then you will enjoy those difficult negotiation, and it will also help you to be successful in your personal and professional life. If you wish to learn more about this subject of negotiation, please stay connected with me on the LinkedIn. It's a Tissa Dissanayaka on LinkedIn, because I add a lot of negotiation related articles, the matters in the LinkedIn. So you could enrich yourself if you are stay connected with me on the LinkedIn. If you need to get more clarification, anything on, just write to me on my email, tissa at tissa tissa at tissadissanayaka.com, tissadissanayaka.com, or tissa at bostonnegotiation.com. So you can reach me any time on that. If the time
Fabulous.
permits me, I'll tell you about that.
That's great, Tissa.
Yoga,
Thank you very much. Now, in order to conclude, I would like to thank the co-host, Donabal Suri. Thank you very much for being an amazing co-host as always. And thank you very much, Tissa, for sharing a wealth of knowledge within the past 75 minutes with all the people who had been watching here and who will watch the recording. Thank you very much. You had shared a lot of knowledge. I'm sure we would have enriched somebody to become a better negotiator, whether it's at home, whether it's at work, whether it's at in their business. So I'm sure people might benefit from everything that you have said, and hopefully you would have changed some lives to the better. And thank you very much for taking time, joining with us, and being an absolutely amazing guest. It was an honor. Thank you, Tissa.
Thank you, Yoga, for giving this opportunity for me to enrich the society. And as you said, if someone improve from an inch from this point onward, that's the success that you and I aspire.
Correct. Correct.
Great.
Fabulous. So thank you very much. And that is exactly what makes you a rainmaker. And thank you very much for joining the Rainmakers podcast. To all our audience who had been actively participating and still on the stream, thank you very much for staying back with us, even with some technical difficulties and being an active part. I appreciate all of you being part of it and benefiting. Thank you very much. Hopefully, we will be able to make sure that this doesn't repeat again. And I thank everybody for joining in. And next week, we will be back on Wednesday, 8 to 9 p.m. Sri Lankan time, back with a very interesting, thought-provoking guest who would also add value to what we do, how we do, and the impact that we can leave behind in the world. Thank you very much, everybody. This ends the second episode of the Rainmakers podcast. Thank you.